Me and my girlfriend were 3 hours into a drive to Charleston when she pulled into a gas station and handed me her card. "Can you go order us food? I'm starving, you pick." I grinned and said, "Say less." The place next door was a wing joint, so I got a 20-piece of their hottest sauce, the one with the little skull next to it on the menu board. I love that stuff. When I got back in the car and told her what I'd gotten, she went completely silent. I was about to make a joke about her looking like she'd seen a ghost when she pulled straight back onto the highway and took the next exit going the opposite direction. "Babe, what are you doing? The exit's the other way." She just stared through the windshield like I wasn't sitting there. Her knuckles were bone white on the wheel, and her chin was doing that thing it does right before she cries. "Delaney, talk to me." Nothing. Not even a glance. My brain started throwing out possibilities. Maybe her boss called. Maybe someone in her family was in the hospital. I cleared my throat. Did something happen? And that's when she just broke, sobbing so hard she had to slow down. Every single thing I said made it worse. So eventually I stopped saying things. We drove 2 hours and 40 minutes back in total silence with a bag of wings cooling in my lap. She dropped me at my building and pulled away before I even got the door shut. I stood on the sidewalk with my duffel bag watching her taillights, trying to understand how ordering food had ended a weekend. I called her best friend Priya, thinking maybe she knew something. 4 rings then. "What? Hey, is Delaney okay? She won't talk to me. She's really upset and I don't." There was this long, awful pause. Then Priya's voice came back colder than I've ever heard a person sound. "I know what you did. Yeah? I ordered wings. You're disgusting." She actually spat it. "How many was it? 20? Priya, what are you talking about? Don't call this number again." Click. I pinched my own arm like an idiot, standing in my hallway. My hands were genuinely shaking. How does ordering food make you disgusting? The next morning I woke up to a text from Mateo, my closest friend since middle school. A screenshot of Delaney's story. A photo of her kissing her ex, Grant, the one who cheated on her twice that I know of, with the caption, "Some people just know what you need." We'd been together 4 years. 4. I called Mateo and told him everything, start to finish, and asked him straight up if the wings thing was really that bad. He was quiet for a second. Then, "Bro, I think I get it now. You need to seriously work on yourself. That's a genuinely awful thing to do to someone." I read that message maybe 9 times. I felt fear building in my stomach, this sick willingness to apologize for something I couldn't even identify. I was still in yesterday's clothes on my couch when someone knocked. Through the peephole, her mother. My chest lifted. "She's here to explain," I thought. "She's here to fix it." I opened the door and her face was carved out of stone. "I wanted to thank you," she said, "for showing us who you are before this went any further." "Ma'am, I have no idea what's happening. You showed my daughter exactly who you are when you ordered that food." By ordering food she asked me to order? She laughed and it sounded like a chair scraping concrete. "And that response is precisely why you were never right for her." Then she turned and walked to her car. An hour later I drove to her parents' house. Delaney was in the backyard with her sister, who crossed her arms the second she saw me like a bouncer at a club door. "Delaney, what is going on?" My voice cracked in the middle. I was begging and I knew it. Her sister glanced at her. "You telling him? Or am I?" Delaney spoke to the grass. "It was a test, and you failed it." "A test? For ordering the food you told me to order?" "Every woman in my family gives her partner one test," she said, flat and rehearsed, like a paragraph she'd memorized in the 8th grade. "You ask him for one small favor. If he only thinks about himself, that's your answer. I have never once eaten anything spicy in front of you. Not once in 4 years. And you ordered the hottest thing on the menu." Her sister jumped in. 4 years and you never noticed?" Delaney finally looked up, and her eyes were completely empty. "When I gave Grant the same test, he ordered me the mild garlic ones, because he pays attention." She married him 14 months later. Her card is still saved in my delivery app. Every year on their anniversary, a 20-piece with the little skull next to it arrives at that house, paid for by her.